Hello folks, I'm Michael with BC Hobbies, and this is the Broadway Limited HO Scale Union Pacific Challenger. Most rail fans are familiar with the Big Boy locomotive, but before the Big Boy, there was the Challenger. Weighing over 1 million pounds, these massive 4664 steam locomotives were built to haul long freight trains over the mountain grades of the Union Pacific Main Line through Utah and Idaho. They were among the first articulated engines to be capable of speeds over 60 miles per hour, and although they were built to haul freight, a few ended up pulling passenger trains as well. 105 Challengers were built in total between 1936 and 1944, and their widespread success was essential in developing the Big Boy. First things first, this is an absolutely gorgeous model. Being part of Broadway Limited's brass hybrid line, most of the locomotive is made of brass, including the boiler and most of the details on it. There are some parts, like the number boards and articulated piping, that are plastic for functional reasons, but it's still a very sturdy, well-built, and finely detailed model. The paintwork is flawless, and even the tiniest details are painted, like the red valve handles and silver fittings on the air hoses. Even the inside of the cab is highly detailed, and comes with crew figures installed. Despite being one of the most detailed models I've ever seen, it doesn't feel fragile or flimsy at all. You can really tell it's a quality piece of equipment. Now, this model retails for $1,000 Canadian, and to be worth that much, it needs to do more than just look pretty in a display case. Luckily, it does. When you first power up the engine, you'll hear the sound system start up. Press function 0 to turn the lights on, and you'll hear the dynamo spool up before they come on. You can toggle the bell and the whistle. If you press the whistle button 3 times quickly, it'll play a pre-recorded sequence. When the direction is set to forward, the locomotive's headlight will be on. If you switch it to reverse, the headlight will go off and the reverse light will come on. There's even a light inside the cab which illuminates the detailed interior when the engine is at rest and automatically shuts off once it starts moving. Although the Paragon 4 sound system has a lot of features, I will say it's not my favorite sound system that I've tested. It's very loud from the factory, and although you can turn it down, it still doesn't sound as crisp or as clear as other sound systems. My favorite so far that we've tested was the ESU lock sound decoder in the Rapido train's Royal Hudson. Still, Paragon 4 isn't bad by any means, and turning the volume down, using CV133, does help a great deal. It's also compatible with Broadway Limited's Rolling Thunder subwoofer system, which no other sound system is. This is one of the best running locomotives I've ever seen, and it had no problems at all on my layout's 18-inch radius curves. I even tried running it around at full speed and it didn't derail. On the real Challenger, only the front engine unit pivots, but on the model, both engines pivot, which is how it gets around such tight curves. It also has traction tires, which makes it an incredibly strong puller. I don't own anywhere near enough rolling stock to test its true pulling power, but I'm confident it could easily handle a train of prototypical length. The real party trick of this model, of course, is the smoke. It's also the most finicky feature by far. Smoke units in HO scale have always been iffy, but this one is a lot better than most. It takes a minute or two to warm up, but then you'll see a thin stream of smoke coming out of the stack. When the engine moves forward or back, the smoke puffs in sync with the chuffing sounds. In the decoder settings, you can adjust the fan speed, heat level, and chuff timing to fine-tune the performance of the smoke unit. There's a small hole hidden under the whistle with its own internal fan, so when you blow the whistle, it looks like steam is coming out of it. Refilling the smoke fluid is done through the stack using the included funnel. The manual warns you not to add too much since overfilling it can clog up the fans. If this does happen, it's possible to take it apart and clean it out, but if you follow the manual's instructions, you shouldn't have to. The most important thing is not to let it run out completely, as that can cause the heating elements to burn out. These points of caution apply to all fan-driven smoke units, not just this one. Depending on shipping restrictions where you live, the model may or may not come with a small tube of smoke fluid. This one didn't, so I used some Bachmann smoke fluid that I had on hand. This seemed to work fine, but I did have trouble getting really thick smoke out of it, so it's possible that Broadway Limited's own smoke fluid might work better, but unfortunately I didn't have any on hand to test. Although the smoke is a neat feature, it suffers from the same downsides as any other model smoke unit. The smoke looks very thin and wispy compared to the real thing, and the room does start to smell a bit after a while, so it's not something I'd want to use all the time. If you'd rather not use it, there's a switch under the cab to turn it off. You can also turn it off temporarily while running using function 7. Alright folks, it's the part of the video you've all been waiting for. I'm going to stop talking now and let you see and hear the Broadway Limited Challenger in action. Well, folks, that about wraps up our review of the Broadway Limited Challenger. This thing really is a spectacular piece of design and engineering, and a worthy model of its legendary prototype. Broadway Limited really pulled out all the stops on this one, and the result would make a fine addition to any Union Pacific-themed HO scale layout. To get your Challenger, visit us at BC Hobbies or shop online at bchobbies.com. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. I'm Michael, and I will see you next time.